Hey friends, Hattie from Honeybee Stampers here. Today's video is going to be a cute little project that I'm going to share with you that I made at the last minute. So I have just recently picked up my son from school, and he had his very first week of first grade. And usually when I send him to school, I like to try to send him with a little gift, a little Cersei gift of some kind for his teacher. But this time, I guess time just got away from me. I didn't get a chance to do it, and I still wanted to. So I thought, let me give her a little, okay, you finished your first week of teaching, like here's this little gift for you. And I actually don't have the gift to show you guys. Where did I have one of my own, but I'll tell you all about it. Anyways, so I put together a cute little tag to add to the gift. The gift was actually a cute sticker book from Passionate Penny Pincher. You guys know I follow her and I love all of her stuff that has to do with planners. And so I gave her one of those little books, and I wanted to put a personalized little tag on it. So I grabbed my stuff and I designed something really quick today, and I'm gonna share it with you guys today. So I decided to find some designer series paper, and the beautiful Ordinary Life designer series paper just kind of caught my attention, and it made me think of school colors. So you'll see all of the different patterns here. This actually comes in a 12 by 12 pack. So let me show you what all the patterns look like. So we've got one side that's super colorful. Okay, I really loved this pattern. I love these colors. They're kind of muted, almost give a watercolor effect or watercolor look to it. Look at that, isn't that cute? Perfect for Honeybee Stampers. I love this. So the little sticker book that I gave her, the cover of it was this. I wish I would have grabbed my own personal sticker book to show you. Were those 6 pages? Let me see, 1, 2, 3, yes, okay, so that's all of one side, the colorful side. And then if you flip it over, then you've got just a black and white side. And I love this because this you can color any color you want or need. And it's got these really great kind of neutral patterns on there. And so this makes designing very easy, very neutral, very versatile. You can either color these pages or you can leave them black and white just like this. And here's another little kind of, I would say kind of honeycomb pattern there as well. So that's what the paper looks like. I decided to go with this paper. And here are all the samples here. This is a little DSP chart so you can see, like, this is one side of the paper and then this is the other, like that, okay? This paper is $13 usually, but it's on sale right now, 15% off. So that's another plus. Okay, and then I grabbed this. This is the Learn and Grow stamp set. It's a standalone stamp set that we have that's current right now. And it is obviously school themed. They usually come out with these once a year, and I'm so glad that they do because every year they're so cute, and I hope they continue to do it because it's really helpful when you're wanting to design something specifically for the school or for your teachers. So I also grabbed the banner dies. So these are the party banner dies. These are a must, you guys, an absolute must. They come in all of these different sizes here, and I've already die cut the pieces because I made the little tag earlier today, and I went ahead and die cut extra pieces because I wanted to share this with you guys. And I know you're probably thinking, okay, we could have used this tag idea 2 weeks ago before school started. But even though that's the case, save this video and recreate this tag for Halloween or for Christmas or even for school next year, okay? But you can decide how big you want your tag to be or how small you want your tag to be. This seemed like the perfect size for me. And let me see if I can figure out which one I use. So from the smallest, I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th banner from the smallest is what I used as my card base, and then I built from there to give you guys just a little bit of an idea. I did basic black for this layer, and then I die cut the designer series paper. Remember, this pattern was the one that really I loved, caught my eye for sure, and I'm gonna put that there. So I just went one step down from that banner and grabbed that one. And then I did another size, same size, but in white, because this is what we're gonna stamp on the back to leave a little message. And then I skipped a couple banners. I can tell you actually which one I used specifically in case you were wanting to case it exactly as I've done it. So it's 1, 2, 3. The third from the smallest banner is what I used for this piece here. All right, so this is what the tag is basically gonna look like. And then again, I use the Learn and Grow. This doesn't have a die with it, so you're gonna do a little fussy cutting. I'm gonna grab some scrap paper and build out this project. So I took the crayon here and I actually stamped, let me get it really inked up, in black, and I stamped a few of these crayons. So I'm just gonna kind of show you how I did this and colored them in to match the designer series paper. And of course our Stampin' Blends are a must when it comes to coloring. So the colors that are in the paper, always know you can check the back of your designer series paper to see what colors of paper are included in the pack. So as far as what they use to design the pack with, right? Not that these papers are in there. So basic black is a color, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Lemon Lolly, Lost Lagoon. You guys get the picture, right? So make sure you flip it over and look at this. And actually with the sale that's going on right now, it's designer series paper sale and cardstock sale. So if you grab a DSP that you really love, make sure you grab the colors that coordinate with it as well while they're on sale. I did see some of them had sold out, but that's okay because I did see that they're coming back in August 24th. So like black, I know basic black was sold out, but it's gonna be coming back and it's gonna come back before the sale is over, so you'll have a chance to grab it. All right, so now what I did is I grabbed a couple of the colors that coordinated with this DSP here. So we'll start with Pool Party, and I decided to go with the light Pool Party, and I just kind of colored. I'm really enjoying using the bullet tip for coloring now. I used to use the brush stroke tip, so you'll see this is like the bullet tip here, if you can see what I'm talking about. And then this is the brush stroke is what I call it, tip. And this one is very, very delicate, so you have to be careful when you're coloring with that. But this one, this side is a bit sturdier, and it allows me to get into some of these little small tight spaces, and I've already colored that the wrong color. Okay, so I wanted to do the light on the ends of the crayon and then the light color in the middle here. And then I brought in the dark Pool Party. All of our Stampin' Blends come in 2 colors, a dark and a light. And this allows you to give it some really great shading and some depth when you're coloring. This is a very simple little image to color, so I'm not really too pressed about it, but I just wanted to put the darker on what I would consider the paper of the crayon, like that, and then leave that middle part in the ends a little bit lighter color, so there's a distinction there. All right, and then I did grab 2 other colors for this. I grabbed the Daffodil Delight and the Flirty Flamingo, I think is this color. Yep. So let's do we'll do this Daffodil Delight for this one now. This is the light, let me see here, light, yep. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna color the ends of the crayon in the lighter Stampin' Blend, and then the wrapper, or the paper part of the crayon, I'm gonna color in the darker blend. So like that. Can you guys see the difference there? It really shows up with this Daffodil Delight. Okay, and then I had to actually Google to see what the crayons look like. You know, are these left open and, you know, white, or are they black? And so I went ahead and decided to grab my Stampin' Blend that's basic black and just color that little line right there. Can you guys see that? It doesn't make that big of a difference, but since I was using a black card base, I said, might as well. So you see this here. So I did that with, I made 3 crayons, and I did cut them out, and I did cut them out ahead of time so you guys don't have to wait for me to do that. But there's this other little cute image here in this set that is the little thumbtack. And I wanted to go ahead and do that as well. So we'll just stamp that right there. And I'm just going to color that in with the Flirty Flamingo. And if I wanted to get really fancy, I could, you know, shade it and all that kind of stuff, but I just wanted to color it basically. And then what I did was I just fussy cut. And these are easy to fussy cut. Don't get mad at me, but these are easy to fussy cut. And I have them done right there. You can really see as that dried, the difference in the colors, right? The light and the dark, and I think it looks really, really good. All right, so there's that. Those are my pieces. And then this is the piece that I wanted to have on the top, and I decided to just pick Just a Note. And we're gonna stamp that in black as well. Take that off of there. All right, I'm gonna stamp this just towards the top. I love the font. Just a Note, so cute. Just like that. And then if you want to line up these crayons so that they are, you know, perfectly lined up, you can do that. I'm gonna put the yellow in the middle. But if you, like by eyeballing it, but if you want to be a little bit more precise, I'm gonna show you a little trick. I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of glue to the back of this, and I'm gonna line this up on my grid paper. Kind of center it between those lines there, so that's kind of centered, right? And then I'm going to figure out which line is running through the center of this paper. So I'm going to go in this, okay. Okay, so this is the center line, like right here, this one right there. So I'm going to go ahead and take my crayon, I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of it. Where did I stick those dimensionals? These little minis I think fit perfectly on here. So I'm going to do the little minis here. Okay. And using that line as a guide, I'm just going to add this crayon to the center. And actually this little point right here is also the center, so that works as well. Okay, start there. And then we're going to add some little mini dimensionals to these two. The one that I made for the teacher today, it had some, I used vellum, and so it has a little bit of a different look, but I think the white looked great. I ended up having to back it with white because of the ribbon I put on it, so. And let's add these little dimensionals on here. Okay. I just love how these crayons are sticking up. All right, so if this was the center, let's use this next one like 2 over to line this up. And there we go. And then we'll do the same thing on this one. We'll just go 1, 2 over. I'm using my thumbtack as a little guide there. And I'll line it up here. Now, 100% you could probably have just eyeballed that, to be honest, but I just love the way that looks. And maybe, you know, if you wanted, you could do a little splatter behind it before you put the crayons on to add a little bit more interest to that little piece there. You could also put gems on there as well. All right, so let's grab our adhesive and we'll just layer this on. Isn't that so pretty? I feel like that basic black makes those colors just pop. Just like that. Let's do a little bit more stamping actually before I forget. All right, so on the back piece, this was the paper that I die cut. And I had this little strip left over, and I just thought it would be a great little accent to put on the top of here. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just going to trim off that. Why waste it, right? Just like that. Okay. And yep, I think that looks great. So what I'm gonna do is add a little liquid adhesive. Something I learned at a training I did last weekend was when you're working with this liquid adhesive, you should think to yourself, dot, dot, not a lot. I loved that, and I'll be saying that all the time now. Dot, dot, not a lot, because sometimes people get a little heavy-handed with that liquid adhesive, and you don't need a whole lot. You really don't. I'm gonna go like this, and I just want to add that. I want the ends to have color, so I'm gonna move it down a little bit. Uh-oh. Okay, that's good. All right, so I'm just gonna add that to the top of it. I didn't put it at the very top. I left a little bit of space, and that's okay. And then we'll take our paper trimmers or scissors, and we'll just trim off the edges here. Okay, isn't that cute? It just adds a little something to it. Now that we've got that down, let us take the ruler. The ruler is part of the Learn and Grow stamp set as well. And I am going to use Pool Party. Some Pool Party ink. And let's see, I'm gonna do it this way with the little hash marks at the top. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Hopefully I stamped it below. I did, good, great. So we've got a little ruler at the top there, and then the sentiment that I decided to use on the inside this time. Take off just a note, and we're gonna put welcome back. And you can do any sentiment really. Simply the best, you did it, good luck, welcome back. So I'm gonna do welcome back because that's what I did earlier today. Ink that up. I'm just gonna stamp it right here. Okay, there we go. There is the inside or the back of the tag. And I wrote a little message to his new teacher on there. Uh-oh. I was a little heavy-handed. Have you guys ever had this happen before with your tape runner? The spool or whatever, the tape accidentally flies off of the little rollers. So what you can do, maybe I can do it on screen here. If not, I'm going to use the liquid glue and have to work on this later. Without cutting it, I'm just going to try to drag it back over. Oh, okay. I'm not going to waste your guys' time doing that. I will do that off camera, but I'll just basically pull it back over onto the roller. I have to be super careful when you're using those. So I'm going to go ahead with our liquid adhesive. Okay, is this the back? Yep. So I'm just going to stick this on the back. Isn't that cute? Let's throw in another little thumbtack here. Let's see, I did this one, but let's do, okay. I don't have the ink for that. Hold on one second. Oh, silly me. I stamped it in black. So we'll ink it up in black, and I'm just gonna do like a little thumbtack down here and color it in, and then we'll add this one on with a dimensional, like that, something like that. Okay. All right, so where is it here? Actually, let's do a different color. Let's do the blue. No, let's do the yellow. I'm improvising here because I did not add this to hers. There we go. Okay, isn't that cute? It is so cute to me. Any of these like little school, oh, this dimensional is too big for that thumbtack, so I'm gonna have to cut a little narrow strip right there. Every time that I've done a little back to school hand stamp something, I just think they are so cute. Do it just like that, so it looks like it's scattered. Okay, so there's the back. Here's the front. Hey Lisa, good to see you on here. Just doing a little last minute. I did this earlier today, I was mentioning, and I just thought it was such a cute project. I wanted to share it with everybody, so you guys can case it if you want to. Now I have some black gingham that I've had. I always, whenever we come out with gingham, and oops, I forgot, shoot. I forgot I put this gingham on before I stuck this one on the back. So I'm just gonna try to sneak that in so it's not over the top of my wording. So this gingham, this little ribbon's gonna be across the top instead of the center, and that's fine. Okay, so just like that. I always keep our gingham whenever we come out with it, even when we retire it, because this is retired, because gingham to me always screams like holidays, back to school. It's so perfect. It's such a perfect little ribbon that you can use over and over again. All right, so I stuck that on. I would put the ribbon on first before you put the piece on the back, and then we'll cross this over and tie a little bow. Okay, Sterling is still perfecting his bow tying. He's not quite there for tying his shoes. He can kind of do it, but it's not tight enough kind of thing, so we're still working on him with that. So if you guys have any tips for that, shout them out, because we're all ears. All right, so I got that cute little bow, and then let me pretty up the ends. And this one already is kind of cute, so there's that. And then we are going to add this on with some dimensionals. So even though it's not in the center, I still think it looks good. I'm good with it. I actually am gonna put a little adhesive right behind there to keep that in the center. Or I mean, keep that ribbon tacked down. So I'm gonna put that right there. There, okay. Now we're gonna throw on some dimensionals. And 2 in the middle for good measure. Hopefully that one goes right above the ribbon. I think it will. Okay, take these off. I kind of feel like I should have splattered now that I'm looking at it, but I'll just add some gems. I think some gems would go really well there. Okay, there it is. There is the cute little tag that you can add to a little gift that you give to your kid's school teacher, or like I said, you know, because this is kind of late in the game, everybody's probably back to school by now. What you can do is you can just switch out the images, the sentiment, the DSP, the ribbon, totally switch it out and do it for Halloween, do it for Thanksgiving or Christmas, and make a cute little tag. These little dies right here, I promise, are worth the investment. I'm just going to give you guys a little peek at another project that I did over the weekend at our Creativity Now event using these same. Look at this banner, you guys. Is this banner not the cutest thing you've ever seen? And these use the bigger dies. So I'm going to do a whole video on these projects that I did at Creativity Now, so you guys can see that as well. But I just needed to show you. That's those banners right there. So this is a must. These are called the party banner dies. You will use them over and over again. And then the designer series paper was called Beautiful Ordinary Life. And right now it is 15% off. So don't miss out on that. And let me show you a couple more projects featuring the Learn and Grow stamp set that I think you'll think are adorable. So some more welcome back, some back to school stuff. Here, this is using the In Color gingham paper, which is also on sale, I believe. Just a note, cute little pencil there. You did it. I was gonna stamp that A+ on the tag that I made for his teacher as a subliminal message, but I didn't, I left it off. And then Simply the Best. So you see the ruler here again and the little thumbtack. So this is such a great, awesome stamp set. If you're interested in that, I will definitely share some links for all of these items in the comment section below this video. And if you're on YouTube, you can see it in the comments and on the YouTube channel as well. So let's grab, where's that little project I made? Here it is. Just a note, this definitely needs some embellishments, which I will do. And then, isn't that so cute? I love it. I love it. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that quick little video and me sharing with you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll catch up with you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.